Just as the sea is alive with mermaids, then in Cornwall the land is filled with giants. Their massive forms and colossal personalities populate the landscape and local folklore more than any other of our legendary creatures. In Cornwall, giants have been imagined to be responsible for everything from the construction of ancient monuments to the building of the towering granite tors, while random boulders become their chairs, their tables, and their bowling balls. The giant Cormoran is said to have built St Michael's Mount by piling up pieces of granite on top of each other that he had carried there from a huge distance away. He is also said to have thrown some of those rocks at a giant that lived on the top of Trencrom Hill, though some say that they were actually the greatest of friends and were simply playing bowls with those huge boulders. Bolster is the largest giant of the Cornish clan. In fact, he was so big he was able to stand with one foot on St Agnes Beacon and the other on Calm Brae, 6 miles away. But Bolster had one huge weakness: his love for the beautiful and virtuous St Agnes. He followed her around all day, every day, like a lost puppy, and despite her repeated attempts to put him off, continued to profess his undying love. St Agnes grew very weary of her admirer's constant attention and decided he really must go. She came up with a plan and set him a task. St Agnes told Bolster that he should prove his love for her by filling a hole in a stone on the top of Chapelporth Cliff with his blood. The proud and arrogant giant scoffed at her request. This will be easy, he thought. So Bolster cut open his arm and let his blood flow into the hole. But no matter how he tried or how long he waited, he just couldn't fill that rocky cavity. Little did he know that his love St Agnes had been very crafty. The hole that she had asked him to fill was actually bottomless and went all the way down the cliff and let out into the sea. But Bolster refused to give up, convinced that he could not be beaten. However, eventually the big-headed giant grew weak, collapsed, and died. To this day, the cliff at Chapelporth is stained red with his blood.